Hello, teleSUR English presents a new episode of China Now, a Wave Media's production that showcases the culture, technology and politics of the Asian giant. In this first segment, China Current dives into top stories of the week, including a message sent by the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs in support of Palestine. Let's see.
China Current is a weekly news talk show from China to the world. We cover viral news about China every week and also give you the newest updates on China's cutting-edge technologies. Let's get started.
Hi, welcome to China Currents. I'm Lisa. Let's start this episode with a message on Palestine from the Chinese Foreign Ministry. On the 13th of May, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said that China supports the United Nations General Assembly's latest resolution over Palestine and urged relevant countries to stop standing on the opposite side of the international community, international justice, and conscience of humanity. Stop creating hurdles for Palestine to join the UN, Wang said. Wang's remark comes after the General Assembly's latest resolution regarding the Middle Eastern country, which vows support to the Palestinian bid to become a full UN member. The resolution, which recognized Palestine as qualified to join and recommended the Security Council to reconsider the matter favorably, was passed on May the 10th by landslide, with 143 votes in favor and only 9 against. Naturally, the US and Israel are among the 9 negative votes. Regarding its decision, the US representative to the UN explained that, believe it or not, the US has always been the biggest fan of the two-state solution. Sweet enough, they're just voting against it for the sake of the Palestinian people, because, and I quote, statehood will come from a process that involves direct negotiation between the parties. There is no other path that guarantees either Israel's security and future as a democratic Jewish state, or Palestinians can live in peace and dignity in a state of their own. In other words, you have to get Israel's consent to become a state first before talking about joining the UN. But as the Chinese Foreign Ministry mentioned, at current condition, being a full membership in the UN is actually a crucial step towards Palestinians' long-cherished aspirations of independent statehood. Only that will enable the international community to listen more adequately to the voice of Palestine and help it to talk and negotiate with Israel on a more equal footing, especially in the current state of Israeli occupation and suppression. The passing of the solution is the strong core of the international community to support the Palestinian cause in terms of both the two-state solution and lasting peace in the Middle East, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson explained. As for the US excuses, borrowing from the dude in Big Lebowski,
yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Next up, let's take a look at US latest tariff against Chinese products. On May the 14th, the Biden administration announced that starting this year, the US will quadruple tariffs on imported Chinese electric vehicles from 25% to 100%. The tariff rate on lithium-ion EV batteries will more than triple to 25%, and the import tax on Chinese solar cells and semiconductors will both be doubled to 50%. On Chinese internet, netizens are mostly joking at the following picture. Besides mocking poor Biden, the US move is largely viewed as a desperate attempt to contain China's leadership in the mentioned industries. In Trump's era, the US sanctioned China to secure its lead in technology, but now it is more of a move to protect its underdevelopment EV industry. The US, despite being a giant in combustion engines, is only a dwarf in EV. Time has changed, netizen commented. As for the effect of the new tax barrier, netizens generally don't consider them a threat. Although China would probably be sad for a moment since the US has the largest auto market in the world, the reality is if you look at where the growth of auto market is, it's either the developing countries or where population continues to grow rapidly. EV only occupies a small portion in US auto sales, and its infrastructure for EV is immature to say the least. The US has actually gone through a wave where EVs became very popular. But people quickly realized that the US don't have an electronic grid that can handle all of the charging. And a replanning of power infrastructure would definitely require a well-thought-out centralized approach, something that the US doesn't have thanks to the chaotic bipartisan politics. China now is the #1 manufacturer not only in EVs but also in the batteries themselves, which are basically the engines of the EVs. As conserving the environment has established its position as the global consensus, US tariff barriers will only prevent its consumers to get hold of the best product in the market. Next up, what name will pop up when you think about the word Aurora? Iceland, Alaska? Thanks to the strongest geomagnetic storm in 2 decades, Chinese could now see Aurora without having to bear the burden of a 10-hour flight. From northwestern Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region to northeastern Heilongjiang Province, multiple northern regions across China has become unexpected destinations to enjoy the stunning beauty of the aurora, attracting visitors and photographers to rush for the mesmerizing display by the nature. Due to a coronal massive ejection event from the sun, the Earth's magnetic field experienced a massive geomagnetic storm on the night of May 10th. At 9:32 a.m. on May 11th, the China Meteorological Administration issued a red alert for geomagnetic storms, predicting moderate to high solar activity levels in the following days. Here are some videos taken by photographers and tourists across China. Next up, diplomacy. The Chinese Foreign Ministry announced on May 14th that at the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russian President Vladimir Putin will pay a state visit to China from May 16th to 17th. As of the moment, President Putin has touched down in Beijing and is in talks with President Xi Jinping. A joint statement titled On Deepening China-Russia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership of Coordination for a New Era is published. The detail of the visit is still yet to be released. On Chinese internet, state media says that the visit will have strategic significance for not only the two major powers, but also the world amid turbulent and profound changes. Notably, this is Putin's first state visit after he was sworn in as Russian president for a new term last week. As this year marks the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Russia, Chinese media projects that Xi and Putin will exchange views on bilateral relations, cooperation in various fields, and international and regional issues of common concerns during the visit. Next up, on May 13th, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Tae-yu, who began a 2-day visit to China that marks the first trip to Beijing by a South Korean foreign minister in more than 6 years. According to the Chinese state media Global Times, Cho's trip is part of the preparation for the China-Japan-South Korea trilateral leaders meeting, which is projected to be held later this month. Meanwhile, Cho aims to make an improvement-oriented adjustment in South Korea's foreign policy, with its relations with China needing to be eased and reconciled. Study and improved neighborly relations are conducive to regional security and stability, the Chinese state media noted. In the meeting, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that healthy and stable development of China-South Korea relations is in line with the trend of the times and in the fundamental interest of the two peoples. The recent ups and downs and challenges faced by bilateral relations have increased significantly. This is not in line with the common interest of the two countries, and it is something we do not want to see. The downs that the Foreign Minister Wang Yi mentioned refers to the South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's attitude towards Taiwan. Yoon once claimed in an interview last year that Taiwan is more of an international issue rather than China's domestic politics, which was immediately refuted by China. In his meeting with the Chinese Foreign Minister, Cho pointed out that South Korea doesn't perceive foreign relations as a zero-sum relationship. He said South Korea is willing to enhance mutual trust, expand consensus, and focus on cooperation with China, thus avoiding geopolitical constraints as much as possible and jointly opening up a new situation of bilateral cooperation. Still on diplomacy, on May 14th, a delegation comprising of 20 senior commissioned officers from the Chinese People's Liberation Army embarked on a week-long visit to Japan to conduct exchanges with Japanese self-defense force. The Chinese state media Global Times said that this visit, the first of its kind in 4 years, reflects the mutual willingness of China and Japan to deepen defense exchanges and foster momentum to stabilize bilateral relations. The Sasakawa Peace Foundation of Japan announced last Friday that the exchange activity between the JSDF and the PLA is taking place from May 14th to 20th. During their visit in Japan, PLA officers are scheduled to visit the Japanese Ministry of Defense, the Komaki Air Base of Japan Air Self-Defense Force. According to Chinese state media, the said ministry exchange program between China and Japan was first established in 2001, but suspended due to both COVID and the deterioration of political relations between the two countries. In other words, the restart of the exchange is a signal of an improved bilateral relations. Starting from last year, Sino-Japan relations have shown signs of bottoming out and gradually rebound. While negative factors affecting bilateral relations, for instance Japan's dumping of nuclear-contaminated wastewater and some Japanese politicians' hyping of Taiwan questions, still exist, both sides have maintained some exchanges and gradually restored relations. Last but not least, let's turn to technology. Chinese researchers from Harbin Engineering University have announced a major breakthrough in submarine technology with the successful development of a laser propulsion system. This disruptive innovation marks a significant departure from traditional propeller shafts and screws, utilizing advanced laser pulses and slender optical fibers to generate remarkable thrust comparable to commercial jet engines. The Chinese scientific community is buzzing with excitement over the potential of this technology, particularly in the realm of steel submarine propulsion. The system operates smoothly with just 2 megawatts of laser power, well within the limits of nuclear submarines. This relatively modest power requirement produces an astonishing thrust of 70,000 newtons, a feat previously thought unattainable. Known as underwater fiber laser-induced plasma detonation wave propulsion, this revolutionary technology employs laser to generate plasma underwater, which in turn creates powerful detonation waves to propel the submarine forward. These capabilities are so extraordinary that it could enable submarines to navigate the depths at speeds far surpassed current limits. Additionally, this laser-based propulsion system eliminates the persistent issues of mechanical vibrations, which have long compromised the stealth capability of submarines. While the concept of underwater laser propulsion was proposed by Japanese scientists 2 decades ago, the low propulsion efficiency has hindered progress until now. Led by the School of Mechatronics Engineering at Harbin Engineering University, the research team has successfully overcome this challenge by expertly focusing and guiding the laser-generated plasma through a unique mechanism. The key innovation lies in utilizing a high-energy laser emitted from an optical fiber thinner than a human hair to generate bubbles through seawater evaporation, an effect known as supercavitation. This process significantly reduces water resistance. Simultaneously, the laser creates plasma in the water and simultaneously triggers an explosion wave. The team's breakthrough is in harnessing this challenging multidirectional detonation wave to provide directional thrust for the submarine. The solution involves ejecting tiny spherical metal particles and applying the detonation force to propel the vehicle in opposite direction. As these metal particles exit one end of the underwater vehicle, the laser pulse propels the submarine forward. This technology also holds promise for underwater weapon systems, as the supercavitation phenomenon can substantially enhance the range of underwater projectiles, missiles, and torpedoes. In a recent publication in Chinese journal, engineers revealed that submarines utilizing this technology could be coated with ultra-thin, ultra-fine optical fibers, each thinner than a human hair. These fibers are capable of emitting lasers, further showcasing the remarkable potential of this innovation. While significant progress has been made, several challenges remain before this technology can be fully implemented in military submarines. Effectively managing laser-generated heat, ensuring the durability of optical fiber in extreme deep-sea conditions, and seamlessly integrating the system with existing submarine structures are among the hurdles that need to be overcome. Furthermore, while laser technology eliminates noise from mechanical vibrations, the supercavitation bubbles themselves may generate detectable sound, potentially making the submarine vulnerable to sonar detection. This raises questions about the feasibility of its military applications. Nevertheless, the commercial prospects of this technology are vast, with the potential to revolutionize ship propulsion and contribute to more environmentally friendly and efficient maritime travel. Continued research effort and technological refinements gave us confidence that laser propulsion system will bring about a profound transformation in submarine technology in the not-too-distant future. The age of laser-driven, silent, and highly advanced submarine propulsion may have just dawned. That is all for today. Thank you for watching this episode of China Currents. If you have any thoughts and comments about our show, please reach us at the email below. I am Lisa, looking forward to hearing from you, and see you next time.